Over the last many years, but mostly over the last year, I've really embraced the power of my intuition. Historically, we have a legend that women have more intuition than men. I think it's true. But the reason it's true is that women are much more connected to their body and their heart. And they often are more at ease to get out of our heads. And us men, it seems like we have to stay in the rational part of our mind. And I looked up the definition of intuition in psychology. You know what it says? Intuition is a process that gives us the ability to know something directly without analytic reasoning. It's also bridging the gap between the conscious and the unconscious mind, and also between our instinct and our reason. Basically, what intuition allows us to do is to bypass this area here and access a part of our intelligence that is not necessarily located in our brain. I have often shared to people that I follow my inspiration and my intuition. My inspiration is the great whole. You can call it God, you can call it consciousness, you can call it life, you can call it the quantum field. For me, it's all the same. When it's talking to me, I wake up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I get a download. I get a deep inspiration that I should do something. And I'm wise enough to know that it is something that consciousness has planted in my consciousness before I become conscious of it. So I'm not arrogant to think I had a great idea, but I'm really grateful that I've got all these great ideas downloaded to me. But then there's another process that's going on. Then I go to my intuition and I listen to myself and I said, does it feel right? If I just listen to my rational mind, I wouldn't do 3/4 or 95% of what I've done over the last 2.5 years. Because a lot of it, most of what I've done in terms of the Conscious Leadership Center has been deeply inspired. And I've really, really fine-tuned my intuition in terms of the choices I make, in terms of choosing speakers and choosing to make certain events, and the way I price them and where I do them and at the speed I do them. And very often people tell me, Stefan, you're going so fast. They don't understand what's going on. Because I chose to be in service, completely in service of consciousness, surrendered my old will and just allow myself to be guided, I get all these downloads. I get so much inspiration. I actually don't think in this lifetime I'll be able to accomplish through with this body everything that I'm inspired about. But what really has changed over the last several months is the fine-tuning of my intuition. In the past, when it comes times to choosing speakers and making choices around these inspiration, I would have a feeling, but then my rational mind would get over it and I would not listen to it. And you know what life does when that happens? Life shows us a lesson. And then something would happen that would disappoint me, and then I would go back to my intuition and say, yeah, I knew this would happen, but I didn't listen to myself. And now I listen to myself more and more when I have this intuition, because I know it's guiding me. It's like it knows something already that my mind has not been able to process. It's a feeling, it's in the energy. And this allows me to make better choices, to have a lot more discernment of how I spend my energy, with whom I spend it, the project that I choose to follow. And it looks like our expansion of our center with Damien and I is just accelerating exponentially. So now I've got to take care a bit of my body to make sure I can, in this lifetime, accomplish all that I'm inspired. And I'm wondering what intuition, what role it plays in your life. Because, we've all been trained in this societal program. As soon as we went to grade 1, we were indoctrinated in the societal program, which is all about reasoning. And very often we will negate, people that have intuition and say, oh yeah, but that's not rational. This is the business world. This is the healthcare system. This is education. We're supposed to be rational people. But you know what? The greatest choices we make in our lives are not rational. Why do we choose a certain spouse? Did you choose your wife or husband or partner with your brain doing an Excel spreadsheet and doing a decision tree? I hope not. Because if you did, you're probably very unhappy. And sometimes we buy a certain kind of clothes and cars, and we make tons of choices when we go to buy a book. I'm in this building here where they have the show, the book show. Millions of books, and you pick up a book and it resonates with you. You buy it, and suddenly there is a great story that actually allows you to transform your life. A lot of what brings us joy allows us to transform, accomplish our purpose in this life is often based on intuition. So I really embrace my intuition. I really embrace it. It's guiding me every day, and my intuition combined with all these inspirations that I get and I embrace. Because one of the things I've learned to say when I get all these inspirations is to say yes. You know, we just came back, Demi and I, this week from a summit in Gatineau. 3 months and a half ago, I got the inspiration. Let's do a summit in Gatineau. I called the only person I knew there, Ellen Hamilton, and right away she said yes. And then we created this event, and we had 85 people show up for the first time in a city like Gatineau. It was amazing, you know. And I keep doing this, and now what I find out is my intuition and my inspiration are actually working in harmony now. So now it's like explosive. The growth is explosive, and it's difficult to imagine. And I say yes to all that without a business plan very often, and we make it work. And it's really beautiful to see how life is actually playing through us. So, are you ready to say yes to your inspiration? Are you ready to let your intuition guide you in your discernment and your choices?